Okay, so we're out here at the Garfield Road Fire, day 2. Things are looking really good as far as weather, so this is giving our firefighters a big opportunity to make some excellent progress today. The fire has not spread. It is holding at approximately 400 acres. We do have an aircraft that will be inbound soon to give us a better assessment, and we actually have an individual in there on an ATV with a GPS unit who's going to create a very nice map for us and give us a very detailed assessment of acreage. This will also help us to give a better determination of total containment. All along the eastern perimeter, and this is in the very heavy timber, there's about a 40 to 50 foot fire break that's been established by the dozers, and this line is very secure. It looks really good. So that's about 65% of the perimeter that they feel very good about. However, along 121 and 119, there's still a lot of work to be done because there's houses intermixed and there's all different boundaries and different geographical features that we're working with to try to contain the fire on that western edge. So crews are also staged and standing by in case we do get any wind gusts or any flare-ups, that they can very quickly respond within a matter of seconds. They can have a piece of heavy equipment there on scene and multiple engines that can defend the homes and put that fire out. There's a lot of activity still going on out there as far as looking at assessing structures, determining, what type of damage is gone, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But we're also continuing to extinguish hot spots. There's a lot of burning power poles. The electric company is out there. They have to change a lot of power poles, so there's still no electricity. There's power lines across the road. There's phone lines down. There's just a lot of things. There's animals out there that are kind of loose as well. So a lot going on. We're making good progress today because of the weather, and we have a lot of crews. We still have about 10 bulldozers that are on the scene that are continuing to work and that are standing by for initial attack if needed. But progress is going well today. We did do some initial damage assessments, and Billy Esep can comment on that.
Well, good afternoon. We're happy to report the fact that we are getting this situation better under control. And hope to have some very positive news as far as reopening roads and such this afternoon. We have conducted the preliminary damage assessment on the area as far as structures are concerned, and I'm in a position where I can report that we had 2 structures destroyed, 6 damaged, and 19 accessory buildings, barns and sheds and stuff that were either destroyed or severely impacted. So we will be actually putting crews out later this afternoon to actually put a dollar value to those actual impacts.
I know we're concerned about weather. That's a huge concern with the wind, but we're seeing some sprinkles. So is that maybe some good news for us, or what do we expect as far as weather goes?
Okay, right now with the cloud coverage coming off of the ocean with the nor'easter, we've been very lucky today. It's very thick, and it's stopping the heating from occurring this afternoon. What we're watching for is to see if we get any breaks in the clouds later this afternoon. With the winds that we do have, we would have a situation where the fire could begin to spot. So again, that's something we're watching very closely. Even if we do get through today with this cloud cover, folks are going to have to be careful out here for the next couple of days because we will continue with winds coming in off the ocean, and with sunshine tomorrow, lower relative humidities.
Is this cloud cover going to have any impact on the airplane? You
guys are expecting the wind to pick up a little bit later on this afternoon.
I'm not familiar with their flight patterns, so I couldn't say.
Before that happens?
Right, they're making excellent progress, and we should be able to bump the containment up to in the 70s this evening. But there's a lot of hot, concentrated heat sources out there, and some of the rubble that's burning. There's still a lot of ash and smoke that's being emitted. So there is still a risk that a wind gust could blow a firebrand outside of our containment lines and take off running again. So, and there's a lot of fuel out there to burn. So we are very concerned about that western and southern perimeter, and we're still going to hold that containment not completely contained until we are confident that it will not get out.
Still a lot of dangers.
People can't come back to their homes just yet.
Not yet, but you talk us about the road conditions, what you're seeing.
Yeah, currently right now, County Road 121 and County Road 119 is still shut down. We're going to remain that closure until it's safe to open up the roadways for the residents. And first and foremost, it's all about, at this point, it's about first responder safety. As Ms. Winter just had already stated, numerous crews are still staged on site, various areas throughout the impacted area to respond in a quick manner. and we don't want to open up that road quite yet. That way it creates a hazard for the workers that are currently there. But working with the Emergency Operations Center, and once additional assessments and notifications are made, we'll open up the roadway as quickly as possible. So we encourage people to be patient with us. We understand that people want to get back to their homes and check on their property, but you know, first and foremost, it's about safety at this point. So Florida Highway Patrol, Nassau County Sheriff's Office, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, a lot of great cooperation, keeping the roads closed at this point, keeping everybody safe in that manner.
Has there been a plan set up about shelters lasting the next couple of days?
Actually, the shelter at the Bryceville Baptist Church will remain open for as long as we need it. We're actually in a position where we are looking towards trying to get the roads open. Once that decision is officially made, though, I want to stress to the citizens that fire crews will still be in the area for days, doing mop-up, taking care of situations. Please cooperate with them. Please try to avoid the areas they're working in. I can also tell you that Okefenokee Electric is also in the process of trying to reestablish the power that's been disrupted in the area. Their goal is to try to get that done sometime tonight. At that point, though, some citizens still will remain without power where line drops have been dropped or cut to their homes, or their homes are now severely damaged to the point where they won't restore that power. So again, that is the goal relative to power and the opening. The shelters, again, once we do open the roads up, that will allow folks to get back to assess their own personal needs, and at that point they can continue to call that 548-0900 number and make contact with us if they need some type of long-term sheltering.
Can you explain what mop-up is to people? Our viewers at home may have never heard that phrase before.
I can talk about that. So what they're going to do is look at the entire perimeter of the fire, and they're going to go in off that edge 150 feet if possible, and they're going to extinguish any hot spots. So this involves using four-wheel drive engines. The fire line around the fire is drivable with a 4x4 vehicle. So they'll drive in there with water, limited water, and hand tools, and firefighters will be stirring up ash and pouring a little bit of water and stirring some more with shovels and council rakes and all these different hand tools, spraying water in a fog kind of pattern to just save as much water as they can, just really trying to cool it down up to 150 feet into the interior. Additionally, any dead trees, snags, or stumps that are emitting sparks, all of those will be knocked down or disassembled so that they are no longer burning. So you have to cool all of the hot spots 100 feet in all the way around the fire, and this will take days to accomplish.
And Elisa, can you give us an update on the investigation, the person who caused
Asking
this,
about an
what can
update on
happen
the
with,
investigation with the person who caused this fire.
Right. Well, this was an accidental start. You know, this was not malicious intent. It was purely accidental. The individual was burning household garbage, which is illegal, and you're not allowed to burn trash. So they were cited with a notice of violation stating that they violated the Florida statutes for outdoor debris burning. And unfortunately, the person is devastated. They feel absolutely terrible at what happened, damage to their own property and damage to many other people's property, but it was not a malicious act. So there's a chance that they could receive a notice to appear and have to explain to a judge what exactly happened and why they did it. But most certainly they'll receive a suppression bill from the state for all the forestry resources that are out here, and the fire is still not contained, so that bill is still adding up. Additionally, they are liable civilly for any damage that was caused to anyone else's property. So there's a hefty, hefty fine that they'll be looking at.
How many resources do you have?
How many resources do they have?
At one point, as far as forestry, we did have at one point 20 bulldozers on the scene and 1 fixed-wing aircraft. Today we have 10 dozers on scene and probably 15 to 20 personnel, and that's just for forestry. We do have an aircraft that's inbound that's going to do some damage assessments and some preliminary size assessments for us as well. Now, with the fire department and emergency management, if you guys can speak to, I mean, there's numerous from all over, St. Johns County, Nassau County.
Right, we have assets that actually are from all over Northeast Florida in various different capacities, anywhere from actually suppressing the fire to actually helping to manage this incident. Some of those are from the Clay County Emergency Management. Alachua County is actually dispatching some units this way as well to help with some technical advice. In addition to that, from the fire side, we've got Jacksonville Fire Rescue here, St. John's Fire Rescue, and some other organizations that have volunteered to provide assistance.
In terms of the firefighters who had minor injuries, can you give us an
Asking
update
about
on
the
them?
firefighters' injuries.
I don't have any information on any structural firefighters' injuries. I do know that last night one of our forestry bulldozers was burned over, but our firefighter was okay, a little bit of smoke, but he was fine, just a little shook up. So damage to some equipment, but our personnel are okay. I'm not aware of the...
Yeah, we did have one firefighter in Nassau County that had to be transported to the hospital for a minor sprain, and so that was taken and he was released from the hospital.
Can you talk about how many residents you've had to put up in the shelters?
The shelters right now, our peak capacity was about 18 last night. We're down to about 8 this morning.
Have you had the chance to talk to the person who started the fire? Was it a situation where he didn't know that he couldn't do that?
Right. The forest area supervisor who first responded to the fire initially yesterday afternoon did witness what happened. The person admitted to it and a notice of violation was issued. So I myself have not spoken to him, but it is in the record and we do have this notice of violation that was issued, and they did talk to the individual who is very remorseful and very regretful. Didn't understand that it was a dangerous situation.
Annalise, talk about the drought conditions up here, or are they in a...
We are within the normal range for North Florida for this time of year, Keach Byram Drought Index. So that's our long-term dryness is not looking that bad. Now every day without rain, it continues to get drier. The issue is the short-term situation where we have gusty winds and low relative humidity, and it was just all of those factors came together yesterday. Even though we're not in a critical drought, it was just that short-term situation with low humidity and gusty winds. Those fine dead fuels, pine straw, leaf litter, that stuff that's in your yard, on your house, around in your roof, all of that stuff is that carrier of fire. And when the air's dry, that stuff is tinder dry and ready to burn. When the air is moist like today, you probably won't have any problems. Same thing could happen today and it might have never gotten away. So